NFL action today, and we got a couple good games on the board here that I like, and we're going to get to it in just a second. First, a real quick disclaimer. Last week on one of my videos, I made the claim that we won the Carolina-Seattle under when we did not win that game. That was a mistake by me, so I apologize for that. On the year, NFL, not going so great. We're down a couple units. MLB playoffs has been great. We're up a couple units, and then college football, we're dead even. And yesterday, we were 1-1 as well in college football. So, interesting year so far. NFL not so great, but we look to go ahead and push forward. Still a lot of football left to play and to get us back into the profits. I think that starts today. Let's go ahead and let's start talking about today's game. I like the first one, Oakland Raiders versus San Diego, and I like the Raiders plus the points. Odds makers have them getting 3.5. I think that's fine. That's some pretty good value, I think, on a Raiders team that's coming off a bye week. Let's talk about them. Offensively, on the year, the Raiders are averaging 21.4 points per game, 338.8 yards per game, and a third down 44.93% conversion rate. They get it done with David Carr. They get it done through the air. They kind of have a nice balance to their offense. They don't run the ball particularly well, but I like how they're letting David Carr just take the helm of that organization. I anticipate him to be one of the better quarterbacks in the league for the next few years coming, and I like them as far as having the bye week to have a good game plan today against a San Diego team that's really weak against the run, pretty decent pass defense. So defensively, the Raiders are allowing on the year 24.8 points per game, 382.4 yards per game, and a third down 40% conversion rate. Very good at stopping the run, not very good at stopping the pass, and that's why I'm predicting that they have that extra week off to get prepared for this really good air attack from Phillip Rivers and the San Diego Chargers. The Chargers on the year offensively, they're really just getting a ton of yards. They're leading the league. So far this year, they're averaging 22.7 points per game, 432.8 yards per game, and a third down 41.46% conversion rate. They do average the most yards per game out of any team in the NFL. Rivers, huge week last week. And I don't anticipate them getting shut out today, especially when they're playing at home. I just think Oakland has enough. Just hang with them and possibly pull off the upset in this spot. Defensively, San Diego has some gaps. On the year, they're allowing 26.8 points per game, 354.3 yards per game, and a third down 33.85% conversion rate. Here's the issue with San Diego, though. They are very, very poor at stopping the run. Now, the Raiders aren't really a good run team, so that's going to be an interesting matchup. San Diego, decent pass defense, so it's going to be an interesting matchup as well as far as is David Carr going to be able to move the ball. I think he's going to. I think they're going to have a good game plan. I think these teams match up pretty well. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take the 3.5 here. I think the Raiders stay either within that number with it going down to the wire or possibly pull off the upset with them coming off the bye week. This is not your father's, well, I don't want to say your father's because the old Raiders team, depends how old you are, were really good. But just a half a generation ago, the Raiders were not very good. Half generation, I mean like 5-6 years ago. But they're starting to come around. I like David Carr taking over that organization at quarterback. I think he's going to do a really good job, going forward. And, for the Raiders fans, I think they're desperate for a guy to go ahead and, finally produce some wins for that organization. Anyways, I like the Raiders in this spot, getting the 3.5. That's going to be one of my NFL picks of the day. And I wish you luck on your plays of the day.